Well, as you can see, we are in different surroundings. No, this isn't a new spot for my second stand. This is my dad's tree stand. We ran into a bit of a hiccup earlier today. So it's October 28th. It's Friday afternoon. I wasn't planning on hunting this afternoon at all. I was just gonna head up to deer camp later on tonight and then just hunt the weekend. But Dad hunted this morning, and he stuck one out of the stand. Unfortunately, it was a little far back. It wasn't even gut shot, but it clipped liver, lung, rear of lung and the liver. And it ran to the east onto the neighbor property. So we have a neighbor property 40-50 yards to the south, and then another one probably 100 yards to the east. And this deer ran to the east on the neighbor property. So my dad went and got permission from the wife to look for it, and as he's looking for it, I guess the husband comes out, and he wasn't nice at all. He actually, by the sounds of it, was very upset and worked up that my dad was on his land, even though his wife had given Dad proper permission. So, long story short, Dad wasn't allowed to look for his deer anymore. The guy said, if I find it, I'll let you know, but don't ever step foot on my property. Why that's a curveball for me is because down toward the other end of this guy's property is where my main ladder stand is, and it's about 50 yards off of this man's property, and this guy has all the cover and all the bedding in the area. So anything I shoot is going to head straight that direction, 9 times out of 10. So I don't want to mortally wound a deer and have it run into this guy's property and not be able to get it. My dad decided he wasn't going to hunt tonight, and I'm sitting his stand instead, which really throws a big curveball in all our plans, because Kevin and I both sit very close to this man's property, and he is not a nice neighbor. Why can't people just be nice, you know? So I'm in Dad's stand tonight. I think I might be hunting it all weekend. My dad, if he comes back out, he might be hunting out of his rifle stand, because his rifle stand is a ladder stand with a box built around it. He shoots a crossbow, so he'll be able to maneuver that a little bit better. There's no way I could sit in it with my compound. That's the state of things right now. So basically my main tree stand is now virtually unusable because this man can't be a nice neighbor. Oh, and the other downside to this is it's a brand new setup for the camera and for all the, my action camera, for this camera. It's different. So basically, my main shot most likely is going to be off to my left and behind me to the left, which is fine because that's the natural shot for my bow. Natural side, I should say. But the camera's on the right side, so I can manipulate it easier. If I'm holding my bow in my left hand, I want to be able to work the camera with my right hand. So the camera's on the right side, but all my shots are going to be over here on the left. So I'm going to have to either try and get around the back of the tree with the camera, or I'm just not going to be able to get the shot. So that's one problem. The other problem is because the main potential for this spot is on the left-hand side, I usually put my backpack over here as well on the left side, but because the main shot potential's over there, I don't want my backpack to be in the way if I have to shoot that direction. So now my backpack is on the right-hand side, which means I have to mount the camera arm higher so it can swing over the backpack, which is not a very comfortable way to maneuver the camera. And I gotta do more movement. I gotta raise my arm higher to get to it. It's just this whole situation. I'm actually not happy at all with this neighbor. That thing is really cool. Just flew right by me, scared the crap out of me. Oh, where is he? There he is. keep going. Dang it. Dang it. What the heck? Why didn't he come in? He just stopped and turned around. Ugh, what was that about? "85 yards. That's as close as he got." Okay. Whoa. Buck. Okay, well, that was interesting. That was an okay buck. I would have shot him if he came close. You know, it's crazy how that happens. You look around, you cover everything with your eyes, and then all of a sudden there's a deer. Okay, so, like I was saying, it's 8:35. It is like 32 degrees right now. Beautiful morning though, super clear. Frost all over everything. A little bit of fog. This is a really cool morning. I've seen about, I want to say, a dozen deer so far. Mostly does. I think one buck. Actually, I know one buck. A small 4-point. Probably about 200 yards out. Nothing came closer than 100 yards. This buck that just walked through probably was 70 or 80, I guess. But everything else I've seen has been pretty far. But there's been quite a few. And my dad was saying every time he sits here, he doesn't see a whole lot. So you can tell that it's finally kicking in, I think. We're just going to keep sitting, hope to stay warm, and hope to shoot something. Meh. Well, I blew it. My first opportunity to shoot a buck this year, and I blew it. Just gotta laugh. Just gotta laugh. I saw them coming, and then I saw they were angling sort of in my way. So I started getting ready, and then turns out, here they come. They actually came right at me. A little 8 followed by a bigger 8, and the little 8 actually was a little further away as he passed by, and the bigger 8 came in closer, so I was like, perfect, I want the bigger 8 anyway. I got a tree out there next to the pond, ranged at 35, and he was beyond that tree, so my terrible judge of distance kicked in, and I thought he was only just beyond it, so I used my 40 pin, which is kind of my max that I'm comfortable with. So I used the 40 pin, and I aimed low, thinking, if he jumps the string. But he was moving, so I had to grunt him, and he stopped, quartering away just a little bit, but it was still a really nice shot. I let the arrow fly, and it went right under him. He didn't move an inch. He didn't duck. He didn't do anything, and the arrow went right under him, and I think it actually probably embedded itself in a log. I heard a thunk. So, I blew it. The beauty of it is, I don't think it really spooked him too bad. I mean, sure, he jumped. Once the arrow hit the log below him, he jumped and took off, but I don't think it was a terrible spook, so I don't think I completely turned him off of the area. He might be back. Oh Lord, please bring him back. So now I'm in a dilemma. It's 11 o'clock, or almost 11 o'clock, 10:55. I was going to get down at 11, and now that these guys just moved through, do I stick around longer? Or is that going to be it and get down? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything to move this late anyway, but Dad said You should sit till 11. And boy, was he right. I just don't know if that was my only shot or not. Well, back out this afternoon after the miss on that 8-point this morning. I'm still kicking myself for that. Like, I don't like to miss, you know? Like, missing is failure. I know it happens. I know it's normal. I don't like to miss. I mean, no one likes to miss. I understand that. But, I don't know. That was my first chance at a nice buck this year. And I missed. But, brush it off. We're back out here tonight. It's like 65 degrees right now. Dad is actually just across this pasture, the overgrown pasture out here. He's just across that in his rifle stand. He's feeling a little discouraged after not being able to retrieve the deer that he shot yesterday, but that's not on him. That's not his fault. That's just the neighbor being a jerk. But he is feeling discouraged about that, and I understand. I get it. And he's not sure he's going to shoot anything else this year. Him and my mom are actually leaving for Florida for the winter next weekend. So he says he's out here just to sit and see what there is to see. And I told him, if you get a shot at something, you better take it. So I hope he does. He's just 250 yards that way, and I can actually see him right now. So it's kind of a father-son night on this side of the farm. It's cool. It's really cool. It's 11:30 and I'm thinking I'm gonna get down. Call it quits for the weekend. I could hunt tonight, but it's just nice being home before the work week and school week and getting groceries and all that stuff situated. So I'm not gonna hunt tonight. Just feels like a weekend full of failure. I had the 2 misses. And then just about a half hour ago, there was a little 8 walking through the neighboring property. I grunted at him a few times, rattled, and watched him just keep right on walking. I thought, well, alright, he's not interested. 20 minutes later, I turn around, and he's standing 30 yards behind me. No clue how he got there. Well, okay, that's not true. He walked there. I don't know when he walked there because I didn't hear a single thing. So I tried my best to be slow and sneaky. Waited till he put his head down, till he walked behind a tree. I spun the camera around on him and I hit the record button, but with this camera you gotta hit it once to wake it up and hit it again to start recording, and I only hit it once, so I didn't actually get him on camera. But then I grabbed my bow, and because I seemed to be having some issues with shooting the proper range, I tried to range him. He got into about 33 yards, and then I think he caught my movement of my bow, because I wasn't being very sneaky with that. I was just holding it, so I think, yeah, he caught that and he took off. 2 missed shots and 1 missed really good opportunity here. You know, it's not really failing though. It's learning a lesson. Learning a couple different lessons. I didn't fail. I've had some really big failures in my life, and I wouldn't put these among those. It's just disappointing, missing shots like that, missing a great opportunity like the buck right here. I mean, but I wouldn't consider them failures. It feels like it, but I wouldn't consider them that. They're just lessons learned. So I'm going to brush it off, come back in a couple weeks, and hunt for 5 days straight. I'm going to have 3.5 days of bow and 1.5 day of firearm. So that should produce something. I gotta stop saying that stuff that jinxes me, I think. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. We'll be back in a few weeks with some more hunting.